for a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's over at the safe haven. Detective 12, take a check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2 point star, take your shots.
Office still stands for time? No. Offender in custody?
There we go. Crazy storms out here today. And just as a heads up, there's a tornado watch until 11 p.m. Eastern tonight. So if I have to dip and dive, you know what's up. So good evening, everybody. Thank you for hopping in.
Hey, buddy.
What is
Hey,
up?
what's going on?
How y'all doing?
Doing good. Sounds like you're not doing so good if we gotta go hide somewhere.
I don't know. We'll see. Well, like, I'm not used to hurricanes. I'm used to tornadoes, so, we'll see. I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it, but we're still going to kick it. There's Yoli's updated link right there. By the way, I dropped everybody's link in chat. So go sub up if you would like to. Narc Divers, Yoli. We got Busby and we got Ann. Thank you all for hopping in. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I do want to do some contribution call outs real quick. We got Simply Southern Bells contribution call out. Also, hold on, let me share this real quick because we got to these at the end of the show, but I want to say thank you to Steph A for the 19.99 super chat, Sandra for the gifted membership, thank you very much, and Goro Gomi, $5 super chat, thanks for the good work you guys are doing. Heart, Micah's Law, Nationwide Justice for Micah. Also, I want to say contribution call out to Hope Floats, Faith, Pam Silvis, Lynn Foley, Butterfly Girl, Judgmental, V Slims, Nurse KB, and Criminal Med. Thank you all very much for your contribution to the show and to the community. Appreciate it. So how are you all doing this evening? Or is the weather okay over there? Is my mic okay?
Your mic's good.
Yeah, you sound good. It's hot.
It's hot?
And humid.
Cooler than it's been.
Sucks.
What's up?
So it's cooler than it's been here.
Oh, yeah. It's cool today. It was like 78 degrees here today. It was crazy.
Yeah, I got out and did a bunch of yard work.
Oh, yeah. It's good time to do it, especially when it's cooled off. How about you guys? Weather okay over there, Trey?
Oh, yeah, clear here.
Yeah, it's not bad. Just getting ready to rain, I believe.
Yeah?
But it feels good. It's cooled down a lot.
That's good. Especially with how hot it's been this year. It's been crazy hot. We got a lot to get into tonight, and I don't know if we're actually... What's up?
Time-wise, I said we won't have a whole lot of time, but we can at least get it started.
Oh, yeah. And sure, it might be a part 2 into this part 2 because there is a lot to get into. Some stuff we haven't, like we did in the previous episode. So if you didn't watch part 2, definitely check out part 2. We're going to listen to the Fisherman 911 call so you can hear him as he's trying to make a call. When he found the body, you'll see that in the Micah Miller PDF when we go through it. But we're going to listen to some other interviews from the fisherman that he gave. Now, we had a show last night, and Ann kind of dug into it when it came to the inconsistencies of the story. And that's why I've always felt when we went into the fisherman stories in the very beginning, there was inconsistencies, not only with the items that were in the purse slash knapsack slash what's that thing called?
Fanny pack.
Fanny pack, yeah.
Yeah, fanny pack, whatever you want to call it. People call it different things. The stories just never made sense, and then what really didn't make sense is the fact that you left and you came back. Not only that you left and you came back, but you came back in a different vehicle. You didn't even come back in a truck. You came back in a car. And
sketch.
So it's that right there is like, what is going on here? None of it made sense. You listen to his interviews. It's no wonder he wasn't doing any more. the story, the little tidbits kept changing, you know, and somebody can try and you hear the different interviews and there's, it's almost sounds scripted because you hear the same thing in the same order, but the little parts is what change, and that's what they're not realizing when they're continuing to talk. So we're going to get in through that. We're also going to compare the water level from what he said during that News Nation interview, where he said it was just a little lower than this. We got footage from when I was there.
And he admits going in there with his boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
Mhm.
And I'm going to show you. I got the footage where I'm like looking down in the water and stuff too. So you guys can actually see like how little bit of water is in there, and we're going to use my footage to determine the water level that it should have been as we're looking at the footage too, to give us a better idea until we're out there again doing exactly what the fisherman says is his story was, which I don't think any of us think that it went down that way. I definitely know the family don't, and I don't think any of us do either.
It's not adding up,
No, it's
especially a
not.
boat that size.
No, it is not adding up. Now, he said he had, I think, in one, he was saying that 2 boats. So we're hearing different things too when it's coming to the vehicle that he used in order to tell everybody what his story of events was. Anne brought up a great point yesterday when it comes to a faint cry. You had to have been really close in order for you to hear a faint cry when it comes to the nature sounds. A lot of activity from nature going on inside the woods. They're dense, they're dense. Unless you have a trail, you're having to push limbs and twigs and logs around just to be able to walk through it.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right,
He
I'm going to
does
share these.
say he does say in one of the interviews that he got out of the boat, grabbed her fanny pack up and threw it in the boat and got in it. So I don't know if that's a clue of any kind, but he does say that.
That's weird.
I
Mhm.
wonder. Well, we just have to wait. But I was just kind of curious. You said he got out of the boat, grabbed her fanny pack, and then threw her back in the boat.
Yeah, I'm almost positive that he says that in the News Nation May 20th
Yeah,
interview. That's the one I sent to Jack Fox.
yeah, yeah. If you want to do me a favor, Aunt, go ahead and drop it in the private chat. I do have all of the interviews.
Oh,
News
okay, yeah, I'll get it for you.
But we can go ahead and if you want to drop it there, we can play that after the first one. We're going to listen to, this is one we haven't gone through on the show at all. We're going to listen to JLR's interview with the fisherman that he did a couple months ago. Shout out JLR, shout out Magnolia, the MVPs out here in the true crime community.
This will be interesting. I haven't heard this one yet.
I haven't heard that one either.
Yeah, we're going to listen to that one, and then we'll check that out. We're also going to listen to the 911 call from the fisherman when he said that he found her. It's not very long, and just like I told you all when I was there, the cell phone coverage drops like crazy. You're going to hear that kind of call and what it sounds like. It's no wonder when I was trying to call and trying to get services for myself out there, nobody could understand what I was saying. So just a little short clip of that too. All right, let me see here. And we got some good news. Ooh, I can't wait to share this here. Let me zoom this up a little bit. You guys can take screenshots like we show them in the beginning of every show. Got some good news here. There was a post from Micah's mother that was reaching out for somebody to help her with her services, right? The services that she needs and that she desires, because she can't just, accept a certain narrative or whatever, right? So shout out to the community. This is good news right here. and it says, this was just from a few hours ago. It says, guys, God is so good. The PI I was searching for, I found him, and we have made contact yesterday. We haven't spoken yet, but I'm so grateful for all of you all coming together like you did. Now, please pray with me. He will help into this case for Micah. Amen. So that's good news. I know she was looking for that. She's still looking for a ballistics expert. And because it is part of the 911 Fisherman story, we're obviously going to take a look at the medical examiner's report at some point during this part of the exploring the case that we're doing here with special guests. So thank you all again. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for hopping up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start it off with this interview. Actually, I want to play this little short video from Chronicles Olivia, where she went out there. She does an amazing job. She was out there when we were out there for Riley Strange. She's also done live on location like us for Idaho 4 in some of these other cases out here. So shout out to her. Her and her team do an amazing job and do a tremendous and heartfelt way to bring information to the true crime community too. So shout out to her. We're going to check out her video first. Then we're going to go to the JLR interview with the fisherman. This is Micah's final moments. And she takes you down to the spot. So you're going to want to watch this too, because it's going to show you a lot of footage that is there on the of where she was at. So give me 1 second here and we'll start this.
Today I visited the spot where Micah Miller took her own life. It was a very sad and solemn sight to see. Micah drove an hour and a half north of Myrtle Beach to Lumber River State. I encountered a man who said that he crossed paths with Micah and briefly spoke with her just right before she took her life. He said that if he had known that she had a weapon on her, he would have done anything in his power to stop her.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you. Look at this water here. I know the water is murky. I know the water's murky. But if you look at this water, wouldn't you be able to see somebody if they're submerged to where the fisherman bumps up to the log and then her foot comes up and just barely crosses the surface of the water? Don't you think you'd still be able to see that as you're walking by to get the purse?
Yeah, it definitely would, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, you would, I think.
When the water clear has kind of got that reflection going on, but did it look like that when you were there as far as like like we can see
it's like murky, but you can still like you know how like you can see the logs going under the surface, you know, for a good less than a foot kind of thing. You know, maybe even a little bit. I can take a screenshot.
I just meant that sometimes the camera doesn't do justice.
Yeah.
As far as like the actual image.
Because I got my GoPro too, where I took video of the water out there with the GoPro. I'm
Unless
just sitting
he had bad eyes. He could have bad eyes.
What?
He could have bad eyes.
Well,
see.
I mean, I don't know if he left with the fanny pack, came back, came back, and I don't know if he necessarily, if his eyes did go over there. Okay, maybe he has bad eyes, but I would think he would still be able to see it, and maybe he just want to
Yeah,
see it.
I think so. I was just saying, I was being facetious if you had
I mean,
bad
if
eyes.
it,
Facetious.
You know,
I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm looking at this. I'm going. I don't know. I would, because it would stick out. Like,
well, maybe he
five
didn't process
foot,
it, like,
5.5 foot female wearing all black, and it's not like she was totally submerged.
yeah.
The fisherman bumped into a log, and her foot came right up a little bit above the surface. So to me, that means that she wasn't that far under the surface, right? I mean,
Right.
what do you think, Trey?
the way I'm looking at it, it sounds like
yeah,
she wasn't really submerged that much. I mean, but the stories are kind of twisted as far as the investigators, the fisherman, and the kayaker, as far as like placement and stuff. So
hmm
it's hard to tell, man. There's so many stories left and right. It just kind of doesn't add up because you don't know what to believe. But as far as if he's seen honestly, in my opinion, if he's seen the items on the bank, and then it doesn't look like it was that deep. I think you would have seen.
Well, maybe it could be the reflection. This is a picture that I took from the side. Okay, this is a zoomed in photo from my GoPro. Now there is a lot of reflection. So maybe when it comes to the story, maybe the reflection, because I'm looking to see if I can see, like maybe right here, I can see a little bit of a log in the water, somewhere right here. But really, that reflection I don't know. Maybe he couldn't.
I mean, I know with the drone, like you probably wouldn't see anything, just because it would just be so bad. But with your eye, I don't know.
Good luck flying a drone out there.
So
You
It
can't
really
even get
depends on
you can't even get a cell signal. How are you supposed to get a GPS location on your drone?
there's different. I've got an
Yeah.
app I got that you don't have to abide by the geolocation. So
Oh, good.
finally,
Because I need it. Because mine keeps taking off on me in spots where I have no signal. I'm not lying, man. Even when I was down in Nashville, I was down there using the drone for the police. The police were down there, and they didn't have a drone out there. So I was like, well, I can go get mine. And they're like, sweet. So then I got my drone out and flew it around and got some footage for them. For the Metro PD, that was before I went and explored down at the riverbank to show everybody how it wasn't possible that the events went the way that they did. But before that, I got the drone up, and it was crazy because it actually crashed on me because I lost signal, and it crashed. Yeah, and it crashed. You know where I went in that green fence, and the people yelled at me.
Yeah, they're talking about
when I was rappelling down to the side. That's where the drone crashed too. So it was kind of interesting that I ended up going back to that spot. But yeah, that'd be cool to have that app. I don't know.
So,
maybe with.
Well, this is like it unlocks the geolocation as far as like restricted areas.
Oh, okay.
So if you just need to hover your drone instead of fly it up.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go crazy far. Because I'll pull it out and use the drone in here while we're on the boat too. Then, yeah, we could do that. I'm looking at this picture. I don't know. Maybe the reflection wouldn't allow him to see it. I don't know. It's
It
not
kind
like
of depends on. It kind of depends on what time of day, exactly.
well, it was
Was there
Busby, you're
cloud?
right.
Was there cloud cover or not?
Well, it was around 3:00. So, I mean, the sun, even though it's not straight down, it's still kind of, off to the side. I mean, I'd imagine
3 o'clock, you'd still be able to see really well in there.
I wonder what
in my
time this.
opinion.
Yeah, maybe this was
Yeah,
taken
I
in
was,
the morning or overcast or something.
that's what I was wondering too. What time this was
Right.
taken?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It makes you wonder though. I mean, I don't know, Trey. Would it be if you're walking by and because the fanny pack purse, it wasn't. Yeah, we're gonna play that here in a little bit. The fanny pack purse, it wasn't that far away, so
Yeah, that's what I
maybe
was
he
kind of.
just wasn't looking. But how would you notice a black purse?
That's what I was
Fanny
gonna
pack.
say. Plus, it's a lot smaller, and then you're gonna be unless you got tunnel vision on it because I don't know. I don't buy
Yeah.
it because
As much as you couldn't see her, you saw the fanny pack.
when we're panning on the river and we're looking at the bank or something, how hard it is to see big objects like
Yeah.
in the foliage and stuff.
Right.
I just don't see it in that time frame. It's like boom, boom, boom. Everything just happens. So I don't want to say easily, but he just happened to hear it and then find everything. And
He just
And
went
how did
going.
he go to the?
plus, he
How
went
did he
to.
go?
Go
Go ahead, Trey. I'm sorry.
Sorry, he went to the exact spot. On his big
That's-
boat, no problem. Hopped off of his boat, grabbed the fanny pack, threw it in the boat, and then left.
That's what I was gonna say. How did he go to the exact same spot? Over here,
It's-
just a gunshot.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like
he
he
was-
knew exactly where to go.
Well, he was close enough to hear a faint cry. And when it comes
Yeah.
to a gunshot,
Yeah, but
you pretty if you can hear a faint cry, you know exactly where that gunshot came from. So why wouldn't you look for somebody
But
if
you
you
can
couldn't
hear.
see him? Right? If you couldn't see him amongst the trees where you were walking, because you knew where the gunshot was at.
honestly, I think most people would be like trying to talk back or like you need help or something, like verbally ask,
Yeah.
like trying to like get someone to
That's a good
respond to
point
him.
because he never mentions that in any of his interviews that he called
I don't know.
for if anybody was out there. It's a good point because you
Like,
would
just, hello,
if you were
are
concerned.
you okay? Something.
It's
Yeah,
not
if
a
you were
normal
concerned.
response to me. It's not a normal response to go straight towards a gunshot, unless you're like law enforcement.
I was just going to say that. Thank you,
something
Busby.
like that.
Most
You know,
people would
most-
run in the other direction, not
the other
towards
direction.
Exactly.
Or at least be like, hey, I've 911. I heard a gunshot out here. There was some crying. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
At least report it.
It's.
Yeah,
I mean,
This-
especially since we've heard how dangerous the area is from the other people. It's like, who would really go straight to it, straight towards a gunshot like that?
well, I mean, it's.
I
a good
mean, I
point.
would, but that's totally different. Like,
Well,
depending on where
yeah.
I'm at. But
Michael
I don't
brings
know.
up a good point. Fisherman said the kayaker told him there was no way he could have seen Micah's body, and he did. It's the alibi. He couldn't have done it for the other guy because they're doing it for each other. They're not only saying I didn't do it, but that guy said that there's no way I could have did.
they knew
When have you ever heard that too?
they knew of each other, right? But they didn't know each other.
They had to have. They're
They
both
had
from
to.
that small community.
Well, that's what
man.
I'm trying to get at. But
Yeah, they had to.
like, if say I
he
know
blew
of
out Charlie's name and then said,
It's-
"Oh, I shouldn't have said that."
like if I knew of you, I don't know, in passing or something, but something like this happened, I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna take up for you. I'm gonna be saying like it
No.
wasn't me. But if I don't know you, I'm not gonna say like
Yeah.
try to
And
cover.
give you-
I don't want to say cover,
Yeah.
but give you good credit or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna put your life in line for
No.
another person you
No.
don't really know.
Like especially like knowing someone in passing or in the area or whatever. But if I don't know you, it's not gonna say, hey, he's a good dude. I'm just here's my statement. I don't know anything about this guy. Like I've seen him before, but that's it. I'm not gonna try to
Yep.
say,
unless they're all in on it together.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because you
Just-
don't know what he was doing a half hour ago if you didn't know him,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right?
Interestingly, the May 20th one, CJ, which is the one on the top, There's
Yeah.
one that was sent to Jack Fox, who's he calls himself the lie detector. He's worked
He's
with law
awesome.
enforcement. Because he is great. So
He's
I sent it to him, and he listened to it, and he's breaking it down right now. But his first response was, if you first listen to it, you feel like it sounds truthful, but then as it goes on, he's starting to find little deceptions in there.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, just by listening to it, he already detected deception. So we should be getting his breakdown soon. I find that very interesting.
He's awesome, especially the way he broke down the announcement when it came
JP.
to him, and yeah, JP announcing. If you haven't seen that, you guys, I'll drop the link for you in the back chat so you can have it. It is a crazy breakdown, and I'm the one that's used to finding little things and stuff like that, and I was like, dang. Like I wasn't even thinking about those words like that. It's crazy. He does a great job. I can't wait to hear what he has to say with the fisherman stuff.
Yeah, he's got a great background.
That the adrenaline word is the one that
Right.
Yeah.
that yeah
Right. Like I say,
adrenaline
I'm
rush.
running off fumes, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm running on fumes. Yeah, he uses adrenaline. That is great. Excite, leading up to.
A rush. It's a rush.
It's a rush, yeah.
Who said
And
something
that-
about adrenaline?
JP does in the
JP, when he
announcement
announced-
for Micah's death at the church.
He said I'm running on adrenaline.
That's
and Jack Fox picked up on that right away and then gave a breakdown
Yeah.
of what one would mean if that's what you're feeling.
well, there's certain things that take place in life that you would have an adrenaline rush, and then you'd probably be up for like 2 or 3 days. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he said.
That's-
So what he said is he was like, "Sorry guys, I'm just running off adrenaline here."
Yeah.
When he was trying to announce the announcement, and so it's like, wait a minute, wouldn't you say fumes?
yeah, because usually you
Right?
would be put in a depression, even if,
A depression,
You-
exactly.
in my opinion. Now, if something
Right.
made
Yeah.
you amped up,
Mhm.
that's like
You're
telling on
running
yourself
off
for
of whatever
sure.
you got left in the tank, because
Because what was he doing the day before?
Right.
well,
Yeah, not even 12 hours before.
Yeah. So
supposedly in Charleston, but we know that's not true anymore. We know that's not true. All right, we'll get back to this. This, I don't know. It makes you wonder if you heard the shot and if you were going to it. Great point, Busby, about, usually only law enforcement would do that.
No.
It just makes you wonder if you were that focused on going to that spot, why did you turn around after you got the purse and leave? Didn't you go back there in the first place because you said you were worried? Then wouldn't you have
Yeah, so why would
tried to
why would
find
you
the person?
get items and just leave? That doesn't make sense.
You
If you
just
are
grab
going to
the
go into
purse, book it.
search mode or panic mode, you're going to be looking for a person. I think you're going to be shouting out.
But
And then I think the average person is going to call 911 immediately and just say, hey, this is what I got going on.
Right. Because you could have called them after you left, because as soon as you
Or go grab one of the park rangers.
pull by the sign at Lumber River. Yeah. Or you could have the park rangers do it, but no, we had to take off and come back. But I didn't do nothing. Okay.
it actually makes perfect sense, Troy. Trey, if you're gonna try to get a quick score and then get out of there.
Yeah, you'd be gone, and you wouldn't want it.
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
you wouldn't want anybody to see you, and you could come
Well,
back and just kind of
and-
clear everything up.
This is the crazy thing. Why wouldn't you? Like, how do you know that there's value in that purse if you didn't even look at it? Look through it, or the fanny pack. How do you know there's value in it enough for you to leave without it? How do you know there's that much value in that purse, fanny pack, if you didn't even go through it?
Yeah, he says that. He
So-
says, I didn't even look at it.
Like, how do you know it's that
Yeah.
valuable? How do you,
And all the items.
how do you know that there's
Totally.
$500 cash when you didn't open it yet? Why wouldn't you just go ahead, man?
He totally lied on himself or caught himself up in a lie with that one.
Oh, for
You know,
sure.
if you didn't go through it, then you sure as hell wouldn't know what every single item in there was.
Like every item in there. But how did you know it was valuable before you left? Valuable enough for you to take it and not look at it and leave with it. You had to have known there was value in that purse fanny pack before you even exited that parking lot. And if you're so worried about going through it where you can name all of the items to a T,
Right.
well, then why weren't you looking in it when you got in your truck before you left? You know,
Right.
it
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
leaving
None of it.
the leaving with it is just it just makes me feel like he's guilty.
He had to meet somebody. He wasn't allowed to go in through. He wasn't allowed to go into the purse, and he probably was sitting there with the person that was going through it as they were going through it, and then put the stuff back in, and that's how we knew what was in the purse. And then came back in another car. Why would you come back in another car even? Oh, because the person that you were meeting, you didn't want to be in the same vehicle as you leaving the park. Because then if you
Right.
were meeting somebody and you were in the same vehicle as you leaving the park and they knew that you took the purse, well, then all of a sudden they know that that person's involved too. That's why he was in a different vehicle. Because he went home, got another vehicle, so they didn't notice him talking to somebody else in case they knew about him taking the purse, and then he took it back. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's making sense to me that way too. But
I just wanted to say in the May 20th one, I think there's a video, and this may help Trey a little bit. It shows a little portion of the boat. I'm almost positive it's the May 20th one. It may I don't know if it's enough for you to get any information on what kind of boat it is, but I did see it. It's kind of where the steering wheel is and whatnot.
We watched the News Nation one where him and Busby you guys figured out the engine or something even,
Yeah.
didn't you?
So it was I don't know until I see, actually know.
Yeah, it wasn't showing the boat. This one actually you see it, which is weird. I never noticed that before until tonight.
do you see the full boat?
No, you just see him sitting in it. Let me
Okay.
open it. I'll give you.
Is it the red one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The red one? Okay.
Yep.
Here, let me play this real quick. We'll get to that one, and then we'll watch that JLR interview, because I really want to hear that one. And shout out JLR and Magnolia. Appreciate them so much.
They're wonderful.
Yes, they are.
He said that she was very beautiful and smiled at him and waved and said hi. He said that at first she went to the river where there were a lot more people. It was crowded there. And then she went in the opposite direction down this path. And then he said that she went about a mile in, and he took my mom and I and showed it. The local man also tells me that this boat is what was used to recover her body. He also tells me that
So that boat was used to recover her.
Yeah, a John boat.
one of his boats,
Why is it still sitting there?
Is it the parks?
This was, let me see, May 9th, 2024. Why is the boat still sitting there?
It's over
What?
a week later.
I don't know, but that
What
looks
the
like it's a
hell?
flat bottom 16 foot to me.
But why is it still sitting there? Why isn't it back in a shed or a barn?
Yeah. I
Why
don't
would it
know
be
why.
laying out there for people to and look at it? It's been laying there for probably since it, because
Yeah.
look at the rainwater in there, and it's even got some dirt.
I have a weird question. Why would they need the
What?
boat?
Yeah, that's true. Because it was
Alligators.
a pathway.
Yeah, why would they need the boat?
Like, why wouldn't you do a backboard and then just, I don't know,
Put-
get a side by side back there as far as you can or something.
I don't even understand why you'd have to go in the water at all. There's a pathway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. An ambulance, anybody could have pulled up and Emmy's office, whatever, picked her up there.
So who's this guy that she talked to? We don't know, right?
No, this is the fisherman. Or no.
This
Hold
is a
on.
guy that
One
this
of the
is the
buddies,
guy-
he was fishing, but he also tells me here. Hold on, I'll rewind it. She says it right here.
And then he said that she went about a mile in, and if he had known that. Today I visited the spot where Micah Miller took her own life. It was a very sad and solemn sight to see. Micah drove an hour and a half north of Myrtle Beach to Lumber River State Park. I encountered a man who said that he crossed paths with Micah and briefly spoke with her just right before she took her life.
Okay, so then how? So what did he do? Stick around and what? So this guy stuck around and watched. Hold on a minute. So we're gonna go to this real quick. So you're telling me this guy was there before 2:54 p.m. and he stuck around till 5:54 to see the boat that they used to find her? So this guy that she ran into was there from 2:45 to 5:45?
Was it fishing?
5:50. No. 5:30. So it had to be 5:45. 3:45, 2:45 to 5:45. So this guy that she's talking to was there that long sticking around. This sounds suspicious as hell.
There's a lot of people that like to stick around certain scenes after things start happening. That's just my opinion.
That sounds suspicious as hell.
Why is it exactly 3 hours?
Because she placed the call at 2:54. So he said that he saw her before, right? It takes at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes to walk back there. So that would be like 2:40, just roughly 2:40. And then they finally found her at 5:30. That's when they would have had the boat. So 3 hours this dude's sticking around because she smiled at him? What?
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I can see, like Trey saying, if he stuck around after, police and everything else get there.
I just meant, like, whenever it comes to, like, statements, if you're ever a witness to something, I never say, like, exactly a time. I just say around this time. So that way, if you're being cross-examined, you can say, I don't know, it was either 10 minutes before. It could have been 10 minutes before or 10 minutes after, but around this time. I never say an exact time.
Right.
I don't know. Guilty
people give exact times.
I don't know. What do you? I think it's suspicious as hell.
That's weird.
You're sticking around that whole time for what?
I know it's not the same thing, but like with the fire scene, if you have these random things start happening and then you have bystanders in the in the crowd watching, it's usually someone in the crowd watching, sticking around that did it. They like to show up, like be a part of it, insert themselves into the what's going on. So it's like there's a psychology thing some psychology based on that. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but there's a method to the madness. Why people come back to the scene of the crime.
To me it's as suspicious as the fish.
I think in a sense it's I don't know.
It is. It's suspicious, just like the fisherman stories. It sounds like they're all in cahoots. Was this? Hold on. I mean, who's the three people that were on the boat that also heard the gunshot? Why? What? Where's their witness statement on the PDF for Micah?
Yeah. Well,
Was this person one of the three?
you would think it would at
Supposedly,
least have
it's
some voluntary statements.
a guy, girl, and a child. Supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Where's their statements? Where's it at in the Micah Miller PDF? Where's it at in the best investigation witnesses timeline? Where's it at? We don't see it. We hear about from Johnny Jacobs.
Real quick, man.
The three people in the boat, and I said, "Did you hear that gunshot?" And they said, "Yep."
Why did CSI and the investigators document her vehicle and the inside of that, but then there's no documentation of like anywhere else? Like why
There was no investigation.
Yeah, but so they documented some things, but not other things. I don't know. It
And then it was the park rangers that were doing the investigation.
Well, yeah, the park rangers were doing it. Maybe they're the ones that seen her come through. Why wouldn't you say park ranger?
It doesn't make any sense.
Right? Why wouldn't you say park ranger on the video if it
She
was
just
a park ranger?
says some guy.
You're right. Somebody that came across here. Don't you think she would have said park ranger if it was a park ranger? I would think so.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I
Yes.
just say they don't want to be named or something.
They don't have to be.
Interesting.
I don't know. It is.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Today I visited the spot where Micah Miller took her own life. It was a very
I don't hear any sound.
sad with Micah. He said that if he had
There's
known
no sound
that she
for
had
it?
a weapon
Hold
on her,
YouTube must be bugging
I
out.
can hear it now.
Let me refresh it.
Yeah, I thought my signal was going out or something there for a minute.
Here, hold on. Sometimes that happens with YouTube. Just have to refresh it. All right. Let me know if you can hear. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on? Hold on.
and that she took her own life. 3 days
Can you hear that?
Today I visited the spot where Micah Miller
Is it working?
took
Okay.
her own life. It was a very sad and solemn sight to see. Micah drove an hour and a half north of Myrtle Beach to Lumber River State Park. I encountered a man who said that he crossed paths with Micah and briefly spoke with her just right before she took her life. He said that if he in his power to stop her. He said that she was very beautiful and he said that at first she went to the river where there were a lot more people. It was crowded there. And then she went in the opposite direction down this path. And then he said that she went about a mile in, and he took my mom and I. Also tells me that
Yeah, it's going in and out for me.
Just sitting there.
Me too.
he
Same.
also heard someone crying, and then a big pop sound. her own life. History of a day. There was a report that Micah had
very
been
choppy.
groomed by her husband at the age
Sorry,
of
go ahead.
10.
I don't know if it's her recording or what's going on, but it's in and out. It's very choppy.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
If she's walking
Okay.
through there, that might explain why.
That's true. And
Here, let me just open up a new tab. Hold on one second.
But while you're doing that, this is not the first time I heard that story, allegedly, about her getting out of the car and smiling at some guy and walking down this path, which is so unlikely. It just sounds like somebody in the area trying to push that same narrative to me.
that's what it sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can place her there.
All right, let's
By herself.
try this. Sorry
I
about
wouldn't be
that.
surprised if somebody was paying them off to say all this either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it sounds just as fishy as the fisherman kayaker story.
I mean, this is the same guy that was
Look-
willing to pay people to dig dirt on content creators, and you don't think he would pay people to push a narrative?
Oh, of course.
He's been
Of
doing it the whole
course.
time, 3 months.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, you need people to collaborate the story.
Yeah.
And what's the best way to have people collaborate it? The same situation we discussed last night when it comes to that area. There's a reason why there's a lot of corruption there. There's a lot of patting on the back. That's why people are scared already, because they live in fear every day, because they know that they could end up in a situation where their
Right.
case would be going cold. And that's got to be a scary way to live. How are you supposed to sleep at night when even at nighttime you are afraid that it could happen to you? I mean, so when it's hard times, hey, and when you're in a place where if you don't go along with something, you might be sleeping with the bass fish too. You might be sleeping with the bass fish too. So you need people to collaborate. And who better than the people that are there?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. All right. Hopefully this is fixed. Let me know if it's still kind of doing that same.
Today I visited the spot where Micah Miller took her own life. It was a very sad and solemn sight to see. Micah drove an hour and a half north of Myrtle Beach, River State Park.
Is that okay?
I encountered a man who said that he crossed paths with Micah, briefly spoke with her before she took her life. He said that if he had known that she had a weapon on her, he would have done anything in order to stop her. He said that she was very beautiful and smiled at him.
Yes, doing it again.
First, she went to the river where there were a lot more people. It was crowded there. And then she went in the opposite direction down this path.
Okay.
And then
Start up.
he said that she went about a mile in, and he took my mom and I and showed us where. The Lord also tells me that boat is what was used to recover her body. He also tells me someone crying, and then a big pop sound. I'd ask, why did she take her own life? Well, upon further digging into her past, a dark history of abuse from her husband unfolds. Just yesterday, there was a report Micah had been groomed at the age of 10. Just weeks before her death, her tires had been slashed. She also reported that she was being followed and watched. The morning after she passed, her husband did an entire sermon, and at the very end made an announcement that she had passed. He told people to leave and not talk about it, and he also talked about how Micah had a mental illness and that she took her own life. 3 days later, his alleged mistress also talked about Micah's mental illness. Many of us thought this was disparaging and distasteful. I can't stop thinking about her final moments here and what was going through her mind and the feeling of pain and helplessness that she must have felt. On April 27th, a 911 call so that her location could be tracked and her family would be able to find her.
I'm about to and I want my family to know where to find me.
And now for a moment of silence.
And you saw a black purse fanny pack just hanging out. You weren't worried about trying to help somebody, but you ran right into the same direction as everything went down. In that area.
Well, I hear the birds there very clearly. Didn't hear that in the background of any of these calls. And secondly, she said that, I don't know who this girl is, but said that the man, if he knew that she had a gun on her, that he would have, I don't know what he thought he was going to do. Well, why would you do that if everybody in that area usually carries? Why would you even bother? Why would you care? It's a norm. So that doesn't make any sense. It's an absolute fabricated story.
And everyone hears one shot.
Yeah.
I mean, you find multiple shell casings. That's what gets me. It's just like, there's no way.
Yeah.
It's like y'all forgot to say that you needed to say multiple shots.
Classic selective hearing.
Right? Plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm.
Why did she say pop instead of gunshot?
Good one.
That's another difference that I found.
Really trying to put that emphasis on it being a gunshot. Yeah, good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You could definitely hear the birds.
Oh, yeah. Clear.
Yeah.
That's not in the 911
Even
call
back
whatsoever.
Even back then when I was there, just weeks after.
When you were there, CJ, you could hear the foliage like moving around on your audio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear them walking through the gravel and everything.
Very frustrating.
All right, here's this. So here's the boat with the steering wheel. What does that look like, man? Now, who knows? Supposedly there's two boats.
What's getting
we think that.
Sorry, what's getting me?
Sorry,
like,
I think we're storming.
You good?
Yeah, it's to pick up. That might be why it's kind of going in and out.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Sorry. I wish I could see on his forward and reverse if there was a trim button or not. Just because, like, the audio, it sounds like a car motor, which, that would be inboard. But this is reminding me of my grandpa's, like, 88 Ranger. And I don't know. I just wish there was better images. It just doesn't sound like it was an outboard. It just sounds like it was the inboard. And if it is, then you got the prop and the shaft that hangs lower in the bottom of the boat. So I'll have to do some.
Got two gauges in there.
Well, it's a video, so it might turn in certain angles where you might be able to see what you need.
It would be at the very top.
There we go. Here's a zoomed in. They're zoomed in for you.
It would almost be. It should be honestly like where his thumb is. There should be like a button that toggles up and down for trim and tilt. If it's a outboard instead of an inboard, but it just
Here, let me
doesn't sound like a outboard. Sounds like a
Let me
car
hear.
motor.
So here's his hand. It's kind of just resting on it.
Okay.
You see it right there, right when he moved his, right before
Yeah,
the
you
other
could
guy
kind-
came in?
You could right there.
Right there.
Yeah, his
Right
arm
by
is
his
resting.
thumb.
On it. There we go. His arm's resting on it.
Is that the
Okay.
trim button?
I can't tell.
It doesn't
Yeah,
look like
That's where it should be. Up
what
in-
on top,
on the
top,
side.
on the side, like on
But
your
at the
where your
top.
thumb,
Yeah,
where your thumb's at.
Yeah, it would be up and down. Just, but I can't tell if it's trim and tilt.
Well, here, let me take a screenshot of it, and we'll zoom in and see if that helps.
Back it up a frame or two, and it'll give you a better.
Here, I got a screenshot. We'll just zoom in on it. 1 second.
I don't know, the design of the oh God, I forget what you call it, but the design of where he's sitting at
Yeah,
just reminds me of a custom fiberglass boat.
Oh, whoops! That wasn't supposed to pop up. All right, that was just a good question, but I don't know. All right, so here, how about that? Does that help?
it kind of looks like the tab because it's got the V. That's a very terrible
Like
picture.
a gray. It does look
Yeah.
like gray.
Looks like it has
and
the V in
it's
there.
like
What's how that button is?
it's the same color as this down here. This right here, same color as this.
But it's hard to. I mean, it looks like it has trim and tilt, which means it would be or should be
So
an
what-
outboard. But
What do you do?
I
Just
don't know.
hit it with your thumb, like you just push it in?
yeah,
Something?
just up and down, so you can tilt your motor.
Hmm.
But
Oh, okay.
the audio sounds like an inboard. So
What do you mean
Yeah,
by
that's-
the audio sounds like what's the difference between what inboard and outboard? Is that
well,
what you-
inboard. Yeah, inboards is basically a car motor, like basically. So you'd have a full size, like a V8.
What is it
Like
like?
the-
Shoot
More of
the.
Well,
Does it do it
rephrase
in a different,
Well, you
like
have
a different process? Or
you have inboards that are like, I don't want to say jet prop, but most inboards have a shaft hanging at the bottom of the boat and then a prop. Like my buddy's houseboat, like I don't want to say cigar boat, but a lot of those boats have a shaft and propeller at the bottom that hang lower than the boat if it's inboard. I'm just saying because the audio, last time we watched part of this, that sounded like a car motor, but
Right.
I would just have to
So-
see a picture of the boat.
CJ, remember the photo I showed you in chat? Remember the photo
yeah.
I showed you? Okay, that's an inboard engine. An outboard engine
Huh.
literally affixes
Okay.
to the back of the boat.
Interesting. I didn't. Okay, so what boats usually have the motors sitting inside of them though? Because the only boats that I've ever seen or been on had the motors on the outside.
Ski boats.
Yeah, ski boats, cabin cruisers,
Yep.
custom boats like I think this one is. All
You
have
think
that.
it's custom?
I think it is just by the dash, and the steering wheel and everything, and I think it's a custom fiberglass boat.
Hmm.
Yeah, see how that's all made?
Interesting.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking of. I mean,
He's
I've
got
seen
some that's
one.
for fishing too.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
That could be like a kill switch or something, right down there by his knee. but I mean, without seeing any more of the boat, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
That's just what it
You just have
sounds
to
like.
be able to see the. You just have to be able to see the back. See what.
Yeah. It would take literally a glance. Like we could probably tell you pretty quick exactly what it was inboard or outboard. Well, I mean, I know.
Well,
it would
this
be
is
inboard or
when. This is when they got that footage. Remember where he was like showing you where she found her? It was the same because that's the same. This is a different camera angle. So that one, remember where he shut the motor off? The one that you guys, the one that you guys figured out the engine.
Yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like as a car motor.
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same. This is just a different angle of this video. So the video that you used to figure out the engine is the same time that they recorded this. This just shows a different angle of it. Yeah. So that engine that you guys heard belongs to this boat.
Yeah, it sounds like an inboard engine to me. I mean,
yeah,
they have totally different sounds to them.
Do I keep cutting out, you guys?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was me.
Are you able to hook up to the internet instead of the hotspot?
Yeah, I've tried. Yeah, I tried both. I don't know if it's just the storms or what.
You'd think you'd have a more solid connection with the internet.
Yeah, I don't hear him cutting out.
All right, let me try that. I've tried both, and it just seems to me like I keep hearing it cut out a lot. So, all right, let me know if it. I don't know. Maybe it's the storms because.
Are they bad by you?
Crazy. Well, the winds are just pretty crazy right now. There are a lot of gusts, and we got tornado warning tornado watch for another 2 hours. And plus, there's going to be more rain and storms coming. Probably around 9:30, somewhere around there. So probably about a half hour.
Oh boy, I'm looking at your radar. It's massive.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's the storms just creating havoc, the connection. I still feel like I'm cutting out, but we can keep going. All right, so let me play this. Let's see. She talks to him. Let me see, and then they add more video, and then they show a from what he's saying when they're talking to him. So let me know if this one cuts out or not. All right. Let's see. Let's rewind. All right. Let's check this one out.
His death. And he says he heard Micah crying just before the fatal gunshot. That fisherman took News Nation's investigative correspondent Rich McHugh on his boat to the exact spot where Micah died. And Rich joins me now live. Rich, that's sort of been the last piece that a lot of people have been trying to put together in this story of Micah's final hours. Tell me about what the fish was able to tell you and what his experience was.
Oh man, Ashley, there's so much here. This is a guy that I've been trying to reach since the beginning of covering this story. I was able to reach him and to meet me at the state park. I said, look, I'm going to be here all day. He finally agreed to meet. And he said, look, I want to clear up my in this. Like he says he's being to allegations online, social media and whatnot. But I also wanted to see firsthand like where this took place, because there's so many questions about how she got there and why she was there. And it's all just so confusing to somebody who's been reporting on this. He graciously took us out for about a half an hour and allowed me to interview him. He didn't want his face on camera or me to name him, but he walked through what he experienced. And we have some of that sound right here. Let's take a look.
I heard a cry back when I came in, where I told you I started hearing the crying at. Then I heard a gunshot. That was probably about 2 minutes or so after I started hearing the cry. It might have been a little bit longer than that. And I heard a gunshot. It wasn't a loud gunshot. And then the crying just stopped. Right about here, that's when I heard the gunshot. The gunshot went off.
Right about here. So
He was
you
on
heard a
top
faint
of it, pretty
cry
much.
that far away? You heard a faint cry from that far away.
And he inadvertently points where he was located, which is right in the same areas that she was found.
I mean,
How
water
does
does carry sound.
A lot.
Like if you're ever on a
Okay.
boat talking, it'll
Oh, that's true.
it'll echo out and like carry across the water. But
That is true. I don't think about it.
Yeah, but we just watched a video how far back into them woods she was.
Yeah.
Is it gonna carry through all them trees?
we'll have to
Even
do a
if
test.
there's water?
You have to do a test. Do a test.
We'll have to test all the like.
Test.
Marco.
Hey,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Polo!
Marco Polo, faintly.
I'm not okay. I did the test with the car last time. I'm not going back in the middle of the woods and yelling help.
Right? Marco Polo. We gotta test that out. We gotta put that on the to-do list, man.
have to have some radios though, just in
Right.
case, because the phones won't work.
Yeah, you leave me behind, you go back out there where he supposedly did it, and we'll do Marco Polo live, right?
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah,
can't do it
you've
live.
got it.
We won't be able to get a connection, but we can have it recorded so we can show
You
you guys the
definitely-
Marco Polo.
If you two do Marco Polo, you better record that. You better record
Well, yeah,
that. if you
he
do
can record it from the boat. I'll record
Yes.
it from the spot, and we'll see if we can hear. I'll even pretend to do like the crying. I'll pretend to do all that stuff, and you record it, and you let me, you let us know what you hear, what you don't hear. We can even be on the phone at the same time, and you could, I can try and cry louder, whatever, just so we can get different, audio versions of it, just because I don't know. I mean, I get it. It can carry a long way, but I feel like there's a
Just try to make
think
it
about
make
it. All the birds, the nature. We were at the beginning of the show. The sounds of nature, the birds, the foliage, the trees. I get it travels through water, but the water's going like this, and there's trees all around it. So I would feel like maybe it wouldn't carry open lake, right? But there's a lot of dense forest, and the water curves around. I mean, do you really?
Sounds like we're going back to if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Exactly. Right. Sorry, does it sound like I'm cutting out still a lot?
Sometimes.
No,
You're good, and then you're not. At least on my end.
I don't know. You don't
Okay.
cut out on my
If
end.
it's
Well, now you did.
Right there.
Yeah.
I don't want
Right
to.
there
I just
you
don't
did.
want it to be.
It's just choppy.
I don't get it. I really don't.
it's probably the storms.
It's probably gonna do this here. Let me. I don't know. I keep trying either or, and for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it is the storms. I don't know.
Just run
I
with
have
it.
no idea. I know, but I just I don't want it to be like you guys or anybody watching. That's all. I just worry about you guys. All right. To this more, I'm gonna back it up to where he starts talking again.
What he experienced and some of that sound right here. Let's take a look.
I heard a cry, back when I came in, where I started hearing the crying at. Then I heard a gunshot. That was probably about 2 minutes or so after I started hearing the cry. It might have been a little bit longer than that. And I heard a gunshot. It wasn't a loud shot. And then the crying just stopped. Right about.
So how can it be not a loud gunshot, but you can hear a faint cry? I don't understand it. I really don't.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't
Not a
make
loud
sense to me at all.
gunshot, but a faint cry.
Unless it's a small
I don't get
caliber.
it.
Do we know
But a
what
faint
caliber?
cry? How can you
9
hear a faint
millimeter.
cry in the gunshot? If the gunshot's not that loud, how'd you hear the cry? Because the
Right.
gunshot's loud.
Unless they use something to muffle the gunshot.
Oh, good point.
Well, there wasn't a silencer on there, was there?
No, but you can use
A
you
pillow.
can use a coat. You can use a pillow.
But
You
there's
can
the
use a.
Where's the
You can
evidence
use
of it? Where's it
You
at?
can literally use a Coke bottle, a 16-ounce Coke bottle, and make a silencer.
Okay, where's the Coke bottle at? That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
We would be relying on law enforcement to have picked up all of that evidence, which
Right.
apparently
Right.
they didn't.
Oh, well, I'm not saying that. All we can go off of is what the
Is what they found.
investigators released.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I'm looking at what the investigator, where's the Coke bottle? Where's the device? Where's it at? So
Here's
if
an
we're
option.
going off the
Here's an
evidence,
option. Here's an option, but it's gonna throw it in a different direction. We know somebody that left and came back in a different car. If that person took the Coke bottle with him,
oh,
and
why would he take the Coke
disposed
bottle?
of. What's that?
Why would he take the Coke bottle though?
What if he made up the story of hearing the gunshot when he was there to witness the gunshot?
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, I think his story does sound strange. His story sounds strange, and we'd have to rely on the investigators, and the investigators don't always do a good job. So it could be true, it could not. Maybe it's not true that something is used, but we won't know because investigators didn't investigate it as a possible homicide. They investigated it as a self-unaliving because of the 911 call. So it's kind of like this spot was just a weird spot for her to do it, because especially when the community knows that crimes here happen and they're not solved.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And she wanted to be found, so that doesn't.
Yeah,
somewhere she's never been.
Why would you
before.
go super remote?
Yeah.
Well, Erica brings up a great humor. If there was a gunshot, wouldn't the birds be flying away from the loud noise? And he didn't mention that either. And all we can go off of is what they come up for the evidence, and what of the evidence shows that there was something that he could not hear, barely hear the gunshot, but he could hear a faint cry. If you could hear the gunshot barely, then you wouldn't have been able to hear a faint cry. And how is somebody crying as loud as a gunshot?
They don't.
Because not a loud gunshot and faint cry are the same. So how are you crying as loud as a gunshot? That's what you're saying, Fisherman.
Not a loud gunshot to me sounds like a small caliber, or it was muffled.
My 9mm is loud, so I don't.
Dude,
mine.
How do you hear it? But this is what I'm asking everybody. Rating. Right? How is you're telling me that it not a loud gunshot, not a loud gunshot, faint cry. You're telling me that she was crying as loud as a gunshot because they're the same. How does that happen? Who cries as loud as a gunshot?
Right. Thank you.
And if
Yeah.
you're crying, if you're
Mhm.
crying as loud as a gunshot, well, then wouldn't there be more people hearing you cry?
Mhm.
The whole, I've never heard it. I mean, I've heard people
Did you
cry. I don't
see?
know about people crying as loud as a gunshot.
He
Did
describes
you?
it as a faint cry. He describes it as a faint, or the gunshot being low.
Yeah.
So he gives
Did you?
himself
Not
away.
allowed, not a loud gunshot. Yeah.
Yeah, in his own description.
Not a loud, faint cry. It's the same decibel. Who cries as
Did you?
loud as a gunshot? My gosh. I feel sorry for the hubby.
Did you see what
Can
Dee
you
Dee
imagine?
said in the comments
What?
about a 6 hour? Look what Dee Dee said about a couple comments ago about the 6 hour,
Yeah.
and
That's what the
he
gun was.
compared it.
Yeah, that's
He
what the gun
compared
was.
he compared the sound to a 6 hour. How
I
does he
know,
know?
that's what we're saying. How
No, it
is
was a
the
SIG.
I know, that's what we're saying, man. There's no evidence to show a muffled sound according to the evidence. So how does that take place? That's why when it comes to the fisherman
No,
statements,
okay.
there
I'm
are some
sorry,
truths, there's not.
CJ. He's talking about the comment where Bo says, "I've got a Sig 226 9mm, and it's loud."
Fisherman
So
says that?
no,
Oh, I
Bo
thought he
Rivers
was
says.
talking about I thought he
No,
was talking
Mm-mm,
about
D-
it's in the comments.
D
Somebody owns. Hold on.
this one. Was it
In the
this one you
comment.
were talking about, Busby?
yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Okay, well, somebody just said in the comment, it's
Yeah,
Bo,
that's what I thought.
that he owns one, which is, I'm assuming the same gun that she allegedly killed herself with, and said it was very loud.
So, but
Yeah.
on Dee Dee's comment, if the fisherman questioned the difference in the sound that he heard and the sound of a 6 hour, how did he know the gun was a 6 hour?
No. The
The
fisherman
gun
didn't
was in the
say it.
water. How did he know?
No, the fisherman did.
We're all getting
But
confused here.
I
The
never
fisherman didn't
heard the
say it. Somebody
fisherman
in the
say that.
comments said it. Somebody in the comments, it just said Bo in the comments had said he owns one, and he says that they're loud.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, I
the
was
fisherman
talking
saying
about the
that.
cosmet that Busby was talking about because he wanted to bring it up about what they were
Okay.
saying.
yeah,
That's why
and
we
we were
brought it
looking
up.
at two different comments.
Yeah, we're looking
Yeah,
at two different comments.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. He was talking about Dee Dee's comment.
Yeah.
But no, it was, and that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the evidence? Let's get back to what I was saying.
All right.
How does somebody cry as loud as a gunshot?
They don't.
Regardless of the weapon, regardless of who said it, how
Yeah.
does somebody cry as loud as a gunshot? You don't. You don't.
No.
So when you're saying that it's a faint cry and not a loud gunshot, to me that, like Mark said, same decibel. How does that make sense? If there was a silence type device used, where was it at?
Now
Wouldn't it
Tamara
be
just said
by?
something.
Go ahead.
Tamara just said something. I own the same gun and it's extremely loud and has a big kickback. I don't feel like a woman can pull the trigger herself with the kickback.
And why wouldn't the silence device be but next to the weapon either? Wouldn't it be on the weapon? Wouldn't it be next to the weapon? Wouldn't it be somewhere in that general area? And if it is a Coke bottle, don't you think that people would notice something weird about that Coke bottle? And
Unless
take
they
a look at
don't
that
bother
too.
with him.
But I mean, maybe.
Well, no, I know. I think what she's talking about is going according to the narrative that they're trying to push. That she did this to her. So I don't remember anybody saying anything about a silencer, but that she used this weapon on herself. And this Tamara is saying, the kickback of the gun. I lost the comment. Would be difficult for Micah.
It's hard to pull the trigger, and the kickback
Yeah.
would have, that's why I initially thought that maybe she had unalived herself, and the kickback of the gun would have pushed her down this, like pushed her into the water, and with the force of the kickback, she would have, moved.
Well, of course, but nobody said that she had a silencer on her gun.
No, okay. I thought that's what you guys were talking about.
No, we've been talking this whole time about the decibel level from what the fisherman's saying when it comes to the faint cry and the and not allowed gunshot, not allowed one. That nobody said there was a silencer on there.
Oh, okay.
Busby was bringing up if it was that quiet, then it would have to have a silencer device. And
Right,
that's
the way
where
he's
he brought up
describing
that's where he brought up the Coke can and all that other stuff. So nobody, unless somebody in chat nobody up here was saying that there was.
Oh,
We're
I don't
just
know.
talking about the decibel level and why would it be? Right, exactly.
Right.
All right, let me get back to this here. We rewind it just a little more. Low gunshot.
I heard a gunshot. It wasn't a loud gunshot, and then the crying just stopped. Right about here, that's when I heard the gunshot. The gunshot went off.
From which side? Over here on the left?
To the left. That's where I heard the gunshot.
In there.
That's when the crying stopped. That looks totally different from when I came in here. Anyway.
It's the same interview.
Low water when you were here?
No, it was actually less water than what's in here now.
So you can see the trees right there. Less water than what's in there now. So that's even lower than what it usually is, because those lines on the tree, isn't that usually where the water level is normally at? Like when it comes to the tree and the markings left when it comes to a pond or lake that fluctuates? Is that...
You have the water stain, where it normally sits.
Normally, for a good majority of the time. And then it'll go down and go up and fluctuate. So he's saying it was lower than what the normal would be for that tree line, because if I'm looking at that photo, that's got to be at least a foot, maybe a few more, maybe 15 inches, 12 to 15 inches of that darker tree line. So if it was less than that, how did you get a boat in there?
Especially that boat. If it's...
That's what I was going to say. I'm still stuck on that. That particular boat.
Yeah, I think it's in this interview where he does say that he steps out of it, grabs her bag, throws it into the boat, and then takes it to the landing, I think he says, whatever that is.
Yeah, he said it was right off the path. If you're walking back there, it's right off the path. That's a bunch of BS too.
Yeah.
That's not true at all. It's not right off the path. You actually have, like when you see photos of it, and we'll show you the video as we get into it, you'll see. That's why I was asking, how do you see a black fanny pack purse? Because you're looking in the back of these woods, it's hard as hell to see something, because it would blend in with the muck and the darkness of the forest and the trees and the logs laying on sideways and just everything that's in there.
I wonder why he didn't navigate up in there with News Nation. Just kind of like, at least the...
You think he would have?
You'd be like,
you think he would have, because if it was lower then, and he was able to go back there, well, then he
have no problem.
Shoot. He should have had no problem.
That's a great point, though, Trey. Maybe he was afraid that it would show.
Get stuck.
It was not yeah.
Hit logs, stumps, and.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they did, but I've never seen anything come out of News Nation going back there. So, yeah. That's why I can't wait until we go out there and show people, like, nah.
We're gonna go through everything we possibly can.
This is not jiving. It's not happening.
So that's the area I went in through with my boat.
How do you get in there if you're on the boat?
You can't. What do you mean?
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
With my boat.
How do you get in there if you're not in the boat?
You can't get in there if you. What do you mean?
How was she in?
A path that comes in there. That's what I told them. Yeah. There was a path that comes into here, so you can. There's in this river.
How's that
answering the question? Path leading straight to where her belongings were laying at.
Does that answer the question?
And there's no path leading straight to where her belongings were at either. There's a path, but it didn't lead straight to where she was at.
Did you catch that, Yoli? There's no answer to that question.
No, there isn't.
He circled around it.
He just totally circumvented it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big fat deception right there.
We'll play it again.
Gunshot. The gunshot went off.
From which side? Over here on the left?
To the left. That's where I heard the gunshot.
In there.
That's when the crime totally different from when I came in here.
Was it low water when you were here?
No, it was actually less water than what's in here now. So that's the area I went in through with my boat.
How do you get in there if you're not in the boat?
You can't get in there. What do you mean? There's a path that comes in there. That's what I told them. There's a path that comes into here. So you can get this path all in this river. There's a path leading straight to where her belongings were laying at.
And then how did you come across her stuff, her belongings?
I just seen it laying up on the bank when I pulled up in here. Yes, sir. It was laying up on the bank. I don't know why I grabbed it. Didn't ever look at it or nothing.
I don't know why I grabbed it. I just grabbed it. Didn't even look at it. I just grabbed it, threw it in my shit, and took off.
Man, I got so many problems with those statements.
Yeah, because he's saying that he took his boat in, and that's how he got her bag.
But then he says,
he asks, okay, well, if you couldn't get there with your boat, how did you get it? Oh, well, there's a path. Okay. Am I like on glue?
No, you're right.
Not answering the question.
Right. Yep.
He said he went up in there. But then he said you can't get in there with the boat, but there's a path. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, and then he said, I told them there was a path. Like, why? Nobody's asking you who you told.
So, did you go with your boat or did you not go with your boat?
Yeah, it's like he's telling on himself.
He's telling on himself.
Yeah.
Or something.
Something's not right.
He's trying to keep his story straight.
Yeah,
he's trying to keep his story straight.
It's like I told him.
This is not good.
Hurry up, Jack Fox.
Talking in circles, backwards and sideways. That's what somebody just said. Yep. That's how I feel about it. They went back and forth really quick in the conversation, and then it's not making sense.
Well, I think that the interviewer was awesome because he caught him and that's why he switched. He realized what he said, and then he switched what he was saying. Still getting caught in a deception. When somebody's being deceptive, they have to do like a forward thinking. And here's this interviewer. He doesn't have much time to do a forward thinking. The truth always stays the same, so it comes to you right away. But in this case, he got tripped up by that interviewer. So rock on to that interviewer because he really did show.
It's the same guy that interviewed JP.
Yeah, he was very
same
good.
Guy.
Same, yeah, same. McHugh, I think his name is.
Yeah, Rich McHugh or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me off and see if this helps. I'm having a hard. It's
Oh,
just
you hear
cutting
it
out
too,
like
CJ?
crazy.
You hear it yourself going in and out?
Yeah.
That is so strange. I don't hear it
Yeah,
going
and
in
then
and
I'm
out.
trying to hear what you guys are saying, and then it's cutting out,
It is
so I
for
don't
us.
get to hear everything you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Everybody shut their cameras off. So
It
funny.
is for you too.
Oh, except for me, I better shut my camera off.
Oh, I don't know if that has.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I'm just trying to help.
No,
Maybe
Yeah.
it'll
it's
help
still
CJ.
one little bar on my freaking.
Dude, have you looked at the clouds
connection.
over you? Have you looked at the radar?
No, I
Maybe you
haven't.
should.
Well, you know what? I can hear fine. I don't know what the problem is. Some people in chat can hear fine too, but somebody said JP is intercepting.
Someone sent him a luxury vacation. The poor interviewer. I know, especially after that JP interview, that he was talking about it after. I was trying to do everything I could just to get through all the questions. And how do
Well,
you,
I don't
man?
know.
Especially
Did you
when
listen to the 2-hour one? Did you listen to the full one?
No, I did. No, I never
Okay.
got to go through. That's what I was telling everybody last night. I think I went through like 7 or 8 minutes of it, and I haven't been able to get to it all since, because we were one night we were going to go through it.
You know, this man went out for drinks after that interview because he was getting so frustrated by the end. You could hear him like sighing, making those kinds of sounds. He knows he's being lied to,
Yeah.
I need to do that. I need to have maybe I'll try and do one during the day where I sit back and listen to the whole thing and add my commentary to it.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet. There's other stuff we still haven't even got to yet, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. All right, so let me go back to this. I want to listen to this JLR one too. I haven't heard that one before. So he didn't look at it or nothing.
I got out and I looked around because there was a clearing on the left and the right, and I looked around because I felt like something was wrong, but I never seen nothing. I took the stuff, put it in my boat, went back to the landing. Her driver's license, her bank card, she had her keys, $500, a little over $500, every bit of that money back.
Every bit of it back, $500. $500 says $500 two times, but in another interview, he says a little over $500. Which is it? Which is it, man? Every bit of that money.
It was not a wallet. It was a wallet.
It was
people accusing you of being a part of this.
Quit trying to be investigators. I do this.
There's not a
Dude, when
chance.
it smells like this is a perfect time to show the dancing hot dog steak, all right? Because when it smells like a hot dog steak, oh my gosh. Hey. When it smells like a damn hot dog steak, what do you mean quit trying to be investigators? Because what you're saying don't make sense, man.
There's not a chance in hell we're going to stop trying to be investigators.
Well, somebody else said that from one of the flying monkeys that sort of mock. I can't remember. I think it was Sprinkler Guy. You stop being investigators, leave it alone, or something like that. It was early on. And it's just very similar to the same narrative that, once again, just leave it alone, mind your business, stuff like that. It just sounds very similar.
I don't remember him saying anything. I remember when I was there, I think it was the first protest I was at, maybe the second one. So it was either the second or the ninth, but there was some lady that came out and she like did like this real dirty look and was like, "You're disrupting the word of God." I don't remember Sprinkler. I don't even know Sprinkler Boy's voice. I never heard him talk. Did he say something to one of the protesters?
No, I don't really recall, but I know it was. I remember hearing that from some. I guess I got to go look.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I remember hearing anybody say that. I know a lot of people were saying that we were disrupting the word of God.
You pagans.
I don't think anybody said we were trying to investigate, unless it was probably somebody towards me.
No, it wasn't exact. It was just the same. It was the same. Oh,
the same wording.
Yeah, it was the same kind of message. Just leave it alone. Mind your business. Why are you involved?
Quit trying to investigate.
Yeah.
Quit trying to be investigators. Like, just quit it. That kind of language. I do remember hearing that.
Yeah, it's the same sentiment. That's what I mean. Same sentiment. Yeah. That's it. Thank you, Yoli.
Chapter 3. Uh-oh. Well, we'll have to check that out. Tomorrow night, though, we're going to be getting into this Fisherman stuff. I'll definitely check it out after the show, but we'll be checking it out tomorrow, or maybe I'll do like another live tonight, late night or something. We'll check it out. We'll see, though. But yeah, man, when it stinks where people, it's not even that good of a story, and it's no wonder people are like trying to ask questions, because your story is sus as hell, especially when you leave and you come back in a different vehicle. Why wouldn't people sit there and go, that don't make sense? Because it don't.
There's no way in the world I would harm anybody like that. Even my worst enemy, I would not do nothing. I was just here fishing. I can understand people, thinking stuff. It did look odd, but people's going to think stuff. I've even been trying to figure out what happened.
Now, a couple quick things, Ashley. He says this is the last interview he's doing. He wants to do this to try and clear his name on social media. Having been there at the site where this happened, Ashley, I gotta say the only thing I could think of was like, how in the world did she get back in there? And after talking with her family, knowing that she had to walk through waist deep water to get there, you can only wonder, like, why? Like, why would she go to these lengths to get into that area?
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad, especially since she seemed to want to be found. That's why she called 911 to let them know where she was. Rich, tomorrow you've got another.
All right. So there's that one. Why? Yeah, and then he says he still tried to look for her. I don't think so. Not worried. All right, we're gonna go to this JLR interview. And this was right in the beginning, too. Let's see here. Where's it at? All right, so here's his link. Here's that, if you're not subscribed. Oh, come on.
Is this one that he just did, or is this something he did back in the day, the beginning?
No, this is from the beginning.
Okay.
What the heck? It didn't play it. No, this is from the beginning. This is if it's gonna play it. What the heck? Hold on a minute. YouTube is or something is just being
buggy or something.
Dude, it's crazy. It's driving me nuts. I just want to do my show. Oh, I think because it's got like a warning on it or something. What the heck, man? Hold on. Hold on. There it is. There we go. It's whenever it does those like warnings where you got to accept it for talking about sensitive subjects, it never comes up when you're in a playlist. So you actually have to go to the, I don't know. I don't get it. So it's going to work now. All right.
What did you set out to do that day?
I just set out to go fishing like I regularly do. Set out to go fishing.
And it was a normal day for you.
Normal day.
Did you feel any kind of way that day? Because lots of times when people say things happen, they feel some type of way throughout the day or something that, something didn't feel right about the day or whatever. Let me make sure I'm recording. But did you feel any type of way that day?
No type of way different from any other time. No.
And you got out and you started your fish. Good serene day?
Beautiful day, yeah.
Okay, and so you set up river. And how long were you out here before you started to hear? I think you said you started to hear some faint sounds.
Well, I got here about 11:30 that morning. And started fishing.
Okay, 11:30.
As I had decided that I was going to quit fishing, I came back through. I stopped at what they call a slough or a lake in the river. It's just a lake off of the river. So I pulled in there with my little boat. And maybe 5 minutes after getting into the slough, I heard a cry, a faint cry.
What time was that?
Probably around. But anyway, just kept hearing the cry.
Was it down here or was it when you got in there?
It was when I got inside of the lake. Yeah.
Cry.
Heard a faint cry. Heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And I said to myself, "Oh, I heard that."
Didn't he say in the other one that he heard the crying, and then he didn't hear anything, and then he heard a gun? He said the crying stopped before the gunshot, and the other one he says the crying stopped after the gunshot.
He also stated in this one that he went into the slough and then he heard the gunshot.
And how long were you out here before you started to hear? I think you started to hear some faint sounds.
I got here about 11:30 that morning and started fishing.
Okay, 11:30.
As I had decided I was going to quit fishing, I stopped at what they call a slough or a lake in the river. It's just a lake off of the river. And made a cry, a faint cry.
What?
Probably around 4.
Okay.
Around broad daylight. Broad daylight. But anyway, I'm hearing the cry.
Was it down here or was it when you got in there?
It was when I got inside of the lake. Yeah.
You heard a faint cry.
Heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Then I stopped. I heard a gunshot. And then the crying stopped. And I said to myself, "Oh my God, I heard that's not what I think's happened." So there was another couple came in on a boat, and I asked them. They came in there because they heard the shot, and I asked them, "Did they hear the shot?" They said yes. I said, "Well, I heard a crying also, and then I heard a gunshot, and the crying stopped." So I was going to leave, but I happened to look at the end of the lake, and there was a little opening.
So the crying stopped after the gunshot. He was going to leave, but then he happened to look at the end of the lake, and there's a little opening.
Yep. Doesn't make sense.
No, it don't.
If you're going to leave, you're going
to
to leave.
The back of that. So
he knows, too. It's going to take me to the back of that over there. He knows this. He knows the path's back there. He already knows where it's going. So when he's talking about, he's acting. But then as he starts talking, as he's inside of it, now all of a sudden he's an ex.
Yeah, I think you're cutting out again.
Yeah, he's cutting out very badly.
Heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Is it? Should I just end it tonight? Come back? When's the next night we can do this if it's just cutting out real bad? It's probably the storms.
Yeah.
When's the next night you guys would be able to continue this?
I'm pretty well good whenever.
I mean, would tomorrow night work?
Yeah, I mean, I could do tomorrow night. Just depends what everybody else's schedule is like.
Yeah, would you guys be able to just do tomorrow night?
So you know I'll be here.
I can try to do. I think I can do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything going on tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll just schedule it for tomorrow night.
What's the weather supposed to be like there tomorrow?
Huh?
What's the weather supposed to be like?
Well, it's supposed to be the same, I think, but at least can try, you know.
We can always try.
Yeah, now you sound fine. You cut out for a bit. You haven't been cutting out for me. You haven't been cutting out a lot for me, but other people say that in the chat too, and they say that you're cutting out. But when they say you're cutting out, I don't hear it. I just heard you cut out a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to continue, CJ, we can go for it, man. It's not.
I mean,
that bad.
it wasn't cutting out for me, but if it's cutting out for other people,
It's annoying if it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I care. I worry about other people because I can sit here and watch these all day and think in my head, but if nobody can hear me or I'm cutting out a lot or it's we can always come back tomorrow. You know what I mean?
It's not bothering me. I just wanted you to be aware of it.
It's when I play the videos.
Yeah.
It's when I play the videos.
Yep.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now we can hear you crystal clear.
Exactly. So it's up to you, buddy. If you want to keep going, we'll keep going.
Well, but I pause it whenever we talk.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I be cutting out when it's paused?
A lot of people are saying it's not cutting out.
Yeah, it doesn't, it hasn't been cutting out for me, like I said, except a couple of times, maybe 3 times throughout this live stream you've cut out, but that's 3 times.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I mean, I'll keep going. Just let me know if if it's, I can always do it tomorrow night. It's no thing. I mean, this is what I do. So whether it's tonight, tomorrow night, it don't matter. We're still doing it. I just worry about you. So if it's bad, just let me know and we can always
Everyone's saying keep going.
Keep going.
I'm good. You want to keep going? I'm good.
All right. Let's go back to this.
It was when I got inside of the lake. Yeah.
You heard a faint cry.
Heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Then I stopped. I heard a gunshot. And then the crying stopped. And I said to myself, "Oh my God, I hope that's not what I think's happened." So there was another couple came in on a boat, and I asked them. They came in there because they heard the shot, and I asked them, "Did they hear the shot?" They said yes. I said, "Well, I heard a crying also, and then I heard a gunshot, and the crying stopped." So I was going to leave, but I happened to look at the end of the lake, and there was a little opening that would take me to the back of that. So I decided just to go in there with my boat. And when I did that, that's when I found Michael's belongings laying up on the bank. So I got out of my boat, picked the belongings up, looked at them, put her cell phone was laying outside of the bag, and her glasses also.
Whoa, hold on.
On the bank. So I got out of my boat, picked the belongings up, looked at them,
It changed drastically, CJ. So the belongings were outside the bag.
Wow.
Or the phone and
The
something
phone
else,
is
right?
outside. Yeah.
Ain't that
Her
crazy?
cell phone.
Yeah.
Her cell phone is what he said. How does he know it's hers?
And he looked at him.
Well, he could be saying her cell phone because now he knows it was her cell phone. But
right. But what I'm saying is you got out of your boat, you picked up the belongings, and you looked at them. I thought you didn't look at them.
Right.
I thought you just grabbed it and put it in your boat and took off. Wait a minute. What?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Trey, when we get out there
we're gonna
and show these people what this dude was saying.
The math is not mathing.
I'm gonna bring some extra stuff so we can kind of have something to go off of as far as like belongings, a couple of phones or something.
Oh man, this is crazy. Here's the link if you haven't watched this one yet. Here's the link for it. Go show JLR some love. Shout out JLR. Shout out Magnolia. There's the link. Go show some love too. It's complete. When was this? Because this is so different already from the News Nation.
It'd be interesting if this was shortly after.
May 7th.
Oy vey.
May 7th. This was a week and a half after.
Oh, man.
When was the first News Nation interview? May 9th?
You would think he would. Something like that. You would think he would.
That's
May
problematic
9th?
right there.
What was the first? May 10th. May 10th was the first. So this was 3 days before News Nation's interviews. This was the first one.
That's problematic.
And look at how different it is compared to the News Nation. News Nation first interview 3 days later, and that much of the story changed. No wonder it changed, because why would you want to tell people? Like even the crying and the gunshot. The other ones, he heard the crying and then it stopped. We just watched it. I heard the crying for like 2-3 minutes, and then it stopped, and then I heard a gunshot.
Yeah.
This
and
one,
not much time in between the event and these recollections.
it's different. This one is more revealing. It's almost like people caught on to this one from JLR, and then they're sitting there going, Fisherman, your story don't make sense. And then he got on News Nation and started to change some things. So then people telling him, right? And that's why he told News Nation, I didn't have nothing to do with this. Stop, investigate.
Hey, CJ, can you send me the link to that so I can give it to Jack?
Yeah.
I think he's going to go over a whole bunch of different interviews as well to find the discrepancies.
There you
There's
go.
a big one right there.
For you. For any of you guys. And then this one too. When did he say he looked at the belongings? Any other story that's on News Nation?
Yeah, it's grab and go.
Just picked it up and put it in my boat, right? Oh boy.
Her cell phone was laying outside of the bag, and her glasses.
Cell phone and glasses? What?
He never looked in the bag, remember?
Yeah, but I'm saying cell phone and glasses. When did we hear about cell phone?
We never heard nothing about it, I don't think.
News Nation interviews.
Mm-mm.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Whoa.
Pick those up, put them in the
Put
bag.
them in the bag.
Looked around a little bit.
See if anybody saw you doing what you're doing.
Got back into my boat, came back to the landing, loaded it up. I left out. The law was there. I stopped.
He left out and the law was there.
That's a lie.
Oh my God.
That's a lie.
So he
law
went
was
back
there.
to the.
I backed
sorry.
up in my boat, loaded it up. How long
Yeah.
is it going to take you to load up a boat? 10, 15 minutes?
It's gonna take a minute unless you got some fancy straps in the
Oh
back.
my.
But it takes a minute to you pull a boat out. Anyway, pop the drain plug, get your straps on, make sure everything's nice and straight. I mean, if you got bunks and stuff, it's faster. But anyway, it's not that quick. I mean, you can be quick, but it ain't gonna be that quick.
Shout out JLR in Magnolia.
Right on.
Jeez, I got back and I loaded it up and I left, and then he makes it sound like he didn't leave.
Well, he said the law.
The law was there.
Yeah, I left out. I loaded it up and left out. The law was there. Where's the squiggly scribble arrow that's supposed to include? I left out, came back, different vehicle. I was there. You're missing a sentence, buddy. I left out and the law was there. You didn't want people to know you took the purse.
Right.
That's messed up if the law was there. So let's go to this. Let's go to this here real quick. 2:54 p.m. call was made. 3:03, Robeson County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched. So in between 2:54 and 3:03, we just have to assume that that's when the shot took place. So let's see. Made contact, phone ping. Deputies arrive at 3:31. So for a half an hour, mister, you were hanging out in your truck?
He went
15
through that
minutes to
bag.
load your... Huh?
He went through that bag
What's
before
up?
he left. He went through that bag
I don't
before
think
he
he
left.
did. I don't think he did.
He's
I
talking
think
about
the reason he's telling you that the law was there, Busby, is because he's telling you the law was there when he came back. He didn't put in the sentence that he left because the law wasn't there when he left.
okay. I see you.
See what I'm saying? If 30 minutes, at least 30, 35 minutes until the law showed up. If it took him 15 minutes, what do you think, Trey? 15 minutes to load up your boat and then pull out?
Probably 15 at the most. I mean, it really just depends on the person.
At most?
Yeah, if I'm quick about it, it's not going to take long. Like once I get bunks on the side of mine, it's going to be a lot quicker. So
if you heard a gunshot and you were trying to take off with the purse, it'd probably be a hell of a lot quicker than 15 minutes.
probably about 5 minutes,
No?
if that. Like I could get my stuff loaded up in 5 minutes and be gone. If I had to get out of there, I'm not going to hook up
It
the back
doesn't take you.
straps.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. If I had to get out of there, I'm just loading the boat up, hooking
Sorry.
the front, and going.
Your law's not going to be there. The law's not going to be there when you're leaving. So that's why I'm saying when you see the loaded up, left out, and then the law was there, like he didn't leave. He's telling you the law was there, but he missed that sentence where he left and came back. That's when he noticed the law, because when he pulled back in, then he offered the purse. So this is my question. He must have, because if he pulled in and they seen him pull in and they knew what vehicle he was driving, don't you think they would have asked him a question? Hey, why are you pulling in to hand us a purse? It makes me think that he pulled into the parking lot like nobody would notice, grabbed it, and then walked and turned it in, because somebody, I mean, come on, if you're an investigator, I mean, if somebody's pulling in to drop off a purse, well then,
yeah, it
that's
makes no sense.
Right? That's really suspicious right there. All right, let's see what else he has to say.
I stopped to talk with the law, asked them did they know a Micah Miller. He said, how do you know Micah Miller? I said, oh, wait a minute now. I said, I found her belongings. And I told him, about hearing the crying, shot, and the crying stopped. So he said, well, get out and talk to me for a minute. I told him, like I said,
whoa, he said, get out. So you're telling me, dude, that you drove up and said, do y'all know a Micah Miller?
That's exactly how it happened. I mean,
And then he asked him to get
out.
What?
Oh my God.
So then why wouldn't they pay you more? Because they would obviously know that you drove in, that you left with the person you came back. Whoa. How did this guy not get invested?
Yeah, I'd be.
That's when he told me that.
Sorry,
man.
It's the connection, man. It's my bad, dude.
They would have me in handcuffs.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Well, remember this. Are you there, CJ?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay. This was before the FBI and Attorney General's office was called in, so we don't really know if they've gotten to him yet and questioned him. Did we just lose CJ?
I think so.
No, I'm here.
Oh.
I'm just,
okay.
It's just
he's shocked, I think.
Cutting out pretty bad, and I can't. I apologize. I apologize if I'm.
Let me check your weather. I
This
think
is
it's
so
really
weird.
bad by you.
I don't hear anybody cutting out.
Yeah, it's
Because when
getting
it
pretty
cuts out, it
serious
sounds
over
like
you.
nobody's saying anything. It sounds like nobody's saying anything, and then I go to like play or talk, and then after it comes back, then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm interrupting, so I apologize.
No, you're good.
It's like literally every few seconds, from time to time. It's like every few seconds, it just cuts out for a good second and a half, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
See, if you look at where you paused it, it says I told them a story. Wouldn't it
be a story?
Wouldn't it be I told them what I
happened.
knew?
Yeah.
Dang.
You got that one, Busby.
Good
Oh,
catch.
that Jack guy needs to analyze this.
Oh, he'll jump on that. He'll jump all over that.
Oh yeah.
It's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
He said he didn't have a fit. Oh, I don't know. What, you must be one of those SCF troll there. So we just get rid of you.
Oh gosh,
later.
really?
Thank you.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I missed the trollness.
Well, I apologize for the technical issues again.
Don't worry about it.
I apologize.
You can't control the weather, brother.
And I don't even hear it, so I like I said, there are people in chat who it's not cutting out too, but you know.
No, but it's cutting out for me because you guys,
Yeah.
like I said, like sometimes I think you guys are done or, and then when it comes back, it's like, oh shoot, people are talking. Crap, my bad. All right. Well, I'm just going to try and get through this and then we'll just come back tomorrow night. All right. Hopefully it'll be better tomorrow night.
Okay.
Interesting. I told him a story though. That's interesting where we paused it in good eye, Busby, because I wasn't even paying attention to that because I'm too worried about this crap cutting out. But yeah, I can't wait for him to analyze that when it comes to. It's going to be like JP's announcement. I bet you he's going to break this thing down completely. There's so many different. There's key points that he remembers, and the rest is just ad lib. It almost seems like, because you don't want to tell the truth, so you're trying to cover it up with different piles of dirt.
I would really.
And I'm sorry. What was the date of this interview again? I'm sorry.
May 7th.
Oh, so this is a really early one.
3 days before the News Nation, May 10th.
Can you imagine being cross-examined and then they play both of all these statements?
Oh, he should plead the fifth.
I'd be like, I don't remember nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna get twisted no matter what. So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just say I don't remember.
Yeah. At this point.
I don't recall.
I don't know. It was just. I don't know. I can't remember. I forget things.
It's a blur now. Like that's because no matter what you say now, that's.
It's out there.
Yeah. 39,000 views too.
It would be different if it varied slightly, but this is like drastic.
Big time. Especially when it comes to the event that you should know for sure where you were at, exactly how it took place. You should never, whenever you're telling it, you should never mix it up, especially when it comes to the crying and the gunshot.
Well, someone needs to put him in a corner and just be like, "Why did you leave?" It makes no sense.
Yes.
That's what they were doing. That's why he came out on News Nation
Yeah.
a couple weeks after this and said, I'm tired. I didn't have nothing to do with this. He came out with this video. Here, hold on. He came out with this video, said, I didn't have nothing to do with this. Got upset over social media attacks. Is it going to work? What is going on? Oh, my Lord. Everything is... Is it going to play it, please? Forget about it. It's not working. I'm just going to stick with this one. I apologize for the technical stuff.
I'm going to have to bow out early, though, guys. I'm really sorry.
It's okay, Anna.
It's okay.
No,
I got to say goodnight to everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night.
We're just going to finish this.
Okay, good night, Ann.
God bless, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you. Get some rest. Yeah, we'll do it back again.
Okay, awesome.
Let me see here. All right, we're gonna get through. We'll just get through this, and I apologize.
To me, that then a parent side happened at the river. I said, "Oh man, don't tell me that." But anyway, I said, "Johnny, how did you know that it is?" He told me that Michael had called 911, told them she was getting ready to go side, where she was at, and that the reason she was calling them to tell them that she didn't want her parents worrying about her, where she would be at, because they could go ahead and find her.
Keep talking. I just want to. I'm going to put my camera on your hands, not your. I'm not gonna put your face. Just stay where you are. Okay. Let me make sure I zoom in.
He didn't even want his hands on there.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. He didn't even want his hands on there.
Wonder why she wanted to put the camera on his hands. Was he fidgeting or?
Well, because he's probably telling her this and that, and he's using his hands to... Oh, sorry, it's not showing me. He's probably doing like this and pointing over there and doing all this stuff. And so whenever you're out there getting footage, right, and somebody's trying to explain to you like different areas and different positions and things like that, you want to be respectful because you know that, hey, I don't want to be on camera. Okay, that's fine. But if somebody's trying to show you something, you want to at least have them at least showing you with their hands, so you're showing the audience, because when we're looking at the video, we're not the one sitting behind the screen. We don't know, like the person recording it or like the person talking, we don't know what direction they're talking about or where exactly. So that's why a lot of the times when I'm explaining stuff to you guys, you'll see my hand come in and I'll point with my finger and show you on camera, like, hey, right over here, this, that.
I was just wondering if she had caught something and she wanted to show what she was catching. You know what I mean?
I don't know. We can rewind it. I think it's more about what he was explaining. But here,
just the hand gestures.
We'll go back about a minute. Let's see.
That's when he told me that yes, there has been apparently a suicide happened at the river. I said, oh man, don't tell me that. But anyway, I said, well, how did y'all know? How did you know that it is? He told me that Michael had called 911, told them she was getting ready to commit suicide, where she was at, and that the reason she was calling them to tell them that she didn't want her parents worrying about her, where she would be at, if they could go ahead and find her.
Okay, keep talking. I just want to. I'm going to put my camera on your hands, not your. I'm not gonna put your face. Just stay where you are. Okay. Let me make sure I zoom in. Okay. Right.
I'm good. I'm not worried about it. I just don't really want to be. I'm good.
I'm not putting your face on camera. And when he told you, you said he told you that it was
suicide. They were here.
Okay. That when you gave him the belongings?
Yes, I gave him the belongings.
Mm-hmm.
He laid them up on his truck. They laid out on the truck.
Oh, you said that you talked particularly you say it was specific things that she had in there, like her license, all those things. Like she had what were all the things that was in her bag?
I didn't really.
Who in the hell started up an AT? Is that an AT?
I can't really hear it. I heard part of it, but it keeps kind of cutting out.
Right.
But I did hear something start up.
You know what? I'm just gonna. Yeah. Let's try it. Let's just try it again tomorrow night. You know, we'll see if it. We'll try it again tomorrow night. We'll still continue. We'll get. I mean, we're only a little bit into this one. We'll be getting back into this one. Here's the link for it. Watch. Come on back tomorrow night and type in chat what you noticed when it came to the difference. I apologize. I wish we could get through it, but I don't know. There's some connection issues. I gotta see if I can get that figured out, or I don't know if it's just these storms. But
yeah, there's cutting out now. I can on my end. I can hear it.
Yeah, it's just not working out tonight. So. We'll go ahead. We'll be back tomorrow night, probably 7:30 Eastern. Is that a good time for you guys? 7.
Yeah, I'll try to make it. I'll try my hardest to make it.
Yeah, okay. That sounds good.
That'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely check out that link. Come back tomorrow night. Let's discuss what you noticed while we are going through it again. This one right here. This one, it's already showing me a lot of interesting stuff. I'm going to dig through it tonight and make some notes for tomorrow night. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your patience. Please be safe. Thank you to all the guests for popping in. And also, I'm going to drop their links in chat as we end the show. If you're on replay, you're not able to see the chat. All you have to do is go into the description of the video, and their links are in there too. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate
Thank you all.
See you
Okay.
tomorrow night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.